Yep, good evening. So yesterday we started discussing about working with JavaScript OOP concepts. In that we learned about modules. Have you tried modules working fine? Huh? Right. So after understanding the modules, so we have another important, we need to know about classes. We'll see. Yeah. So how do we work with class? What is a class and how to define? Yesterday I given already definition about classes. Am I right? Class. Technically, what is class? Class is a program template. It is a program template, and class have the behavior of three things: a model and an entity, and we call it as a blueprint. Class is referred as model when it is mapping to data requirements. If it is mapping to data requirements, we call it as model. And the class is referred as entity when it is mapping to business requirements. If it is mapping to business requirements, we call it as entity. And class is referred as blueprint when it is used as a template. Understand? That is what actually reusability. So technically, class have all these points. Now, first important, you need to know how to define class. Two techniques are there. Class is defined by using two techniques. What are those? We have class declaration and we have class expression. We have declaration and expression. Class declaration and class expression. Two options are there. What is difference? Class declaration, class expression. What is the difference is actually when we are designing class, let's see. So here, right. So we are declaring some class. I will add a new HTML page. So demo. And here we are defining a simple script and class. Class and class name product is a class. This is called class declaration. We call it as class declaration. There is another technique. So we have class expression. Class expression means where employee is equal to class, and we can write like this. This is called class expression. Same like function. If you remembered, we learned about function, and if you have remembered that, so we have function name. This is one. Another where some name is equal to function. We learned these two techniques. What is difference? between these two. One is function name. So memory is allocated by that name, and it is loaded. All its functionality is managed under that memory. But the second function is anonymous. We learned now, if function is not having a name, it is called as anonymous. Anonymous functions. And what is this name then? Var name. That is the reference of memory. So we use the second technique. This technique is used for callback mechanism. Am I right? I told you that anonymous functions are used in callback. That means when you have to design a class that will load according to situation, then you have to use expression. If you want to design a class to load only when it is requested, then you have to use class declaration. So declaration is used when we want to load class only on when requested. Expression is used to keep the class in memory and load the class according to situation. I told you callback and promise. Callback means two functions are there. Which function will execute? That depends on situation. Now, what is advantage? Actually, you can give here any name. You can give any name. Into that, you can load different classes according to situation. When situation is matching, you can apply one class. When not matching, you can apply another class. Because this is just only memory now. In this memory, this class can be changing. Once it is having, suppose this is the name as, suppose prototype. Into this prototype, we have name. So name is a property. So we have like some price. Price is a property like this. Later, what you can do into the prototype, you can apply some other whenever required. In that, you can put like EMP name. So, and you can put like designation like this. You can put some other details into it. That means this reference name can handle different things according to situation. But here it will always only one. It will be only for product. But this will be changing. Once it can handle product, in another situation it can handle employee. That means you want just a memory. In that, class can be changed. Then you can use class expression. If you want a class with fixed memory and with fixed type of content, then you have to use class declaration. So what is difference here? Class declaration allows to configure class with a set of specific members. With a set of specific members, we can define a class with a set of specific members. Now, very important is class syntax set of members. Syntax. So this is class and class name, and whatever members you want, you can define, right? Next, another one is class expression. Allows to configure memory for class, where the class can change according to state and situation. That is what actually class expression. Syntax, how to define. So where some name is equal to class and whatever members you want in the class. These are two things. One is class declaration, another one class expression. So you can define classes in two ways, right? That is generally one concept. I will give this as example. This is just only an example of declaration. Okay. Next important, you should know that every every JavaScript class can contain only following members. Class can contain only 4 members. One, property; another one, method; another one, accessor; and another one is constructor. Only these can be there. We can have a property, we can have a method, we can have an accessor and constructor. A class can directly have only these. These are called class members. Class members means what? Directly what you can keep in a class. What you can keep in a class directly, those are referred as class members. Now, the question here is, in many interviews they ask, can we define a variable in class? Can we define a variable in class? For example, you see, I am creating a class product. Now, how to store data in the class? For example, can we define variable in class? No. We cannot define variable in class. So you see here, I am creating var x equal to 10. It's not allowed. You can see it shows that here, unexpected token, a constructor or a method or an accessor or a property can be there. Anything else not allowed. So class can contain only these 4. Class can have property, class can have method, class can have accessor or constructor. Anything else is not allowed in a class. These are the class members. So can you declare a variable in a class? No. Now the question asked is why? Why we cannot define variable in class? The question is why variable is not allowed as class member. Directly we cannot use a variable in class. Why it is not allowed? The answer is, what we discussed, class is a template. Template means what? It must provide members in such a way that which we can change according to situation. But variable is immutable. Variable is immutable, and class cannot contain immutable members. Immutable members. That is the reason variable is not allowed. Because class is a template, in that every member must able to change according to situation. But variables cannot change according to situation. In that case, they are not allowed. Now, in that case, question is how data is stored in class. If variable is not allowed, how data is stored in class? By using property. By using property, we can store data in class. That means, how do we do? Syntactically, class name in this property is equal to whatever data you want to store. That is how we need to define data. No variables allowed directly. So class will not contain any variable. Class members means only 4, and data is stored not in variable, data is stored in a property. What are property? We will see now. We will see that. Now, if anybody asked a question like, what is difference between property and variable? Because both are used to store data. Outside, you see, outside the class, we store data in variable. Inside the class, we store data in property. Right? This is property and this is variable. This is variable. What is difference between property and variable? Same. Already we discussed that variable is immutable and property is mutable. That is the point. That means property can change according to situation, but variable cannot change. How it can change according to situation, I will tell you now. We will discuss. We will see that. So variables are not allowed in a class. Then how do we define data? Data is stored in properties. Another important point is, so another question is here. Yeah. Another question is, can we define a function in class? Function in class. Can we define a function in class? Answer is no. You cannot have a function also in class. You see, I am trying to access a function here, function, and so F1, and it is not allowed. But function is allowed outside the class. Outside the class, you can have function. Inside the class, you cannot have function. Then obviously the point is same. Why it is not allowed? Because function is immutable. Then the question here is how functionality is defined in class. If a function is not allowed, then how functionality is defined in class? By using method. So in a class, if you want to define any functionality, then we have to use a method. Method like print is a method like this. Method don't have any function keywords or anything. Just we write a signature. That's it. It can have parameters, all other things same. Only the point, no function. Now, what is difference between a function and a method? Same. Function is immutable and methods are mutable. That means that is the basic difference every time. So this is technically class member. In a class, we can store data in property. We can define functionality in methods. We will see detailedly now. Means these are the questions. Means why we cannot have functions and variables directly in a class. Because remember, many times don't get confused. You see, I am declaring var x equal to 10. Now it is allowed. It is allowed. Now remember, I said that variables are not allowed in a class. I am talking about class members. This variable is not a class member now. It is a function method member. Understood? Direct members in a class are only 4. Right? Variable can be in a class, but it is not class member. Function can be in a class, but it is not class member. That means you can have a function here. You can have a function F1 here. Right? So you can have functions in class, you can have variables in class, but they are not class members as class members. Inside a method for data, inside a method for functionality, you can use functions. Right? But directly functions and variables cannot be in a class. Class members means only 4. Class members means always only 4. What are those 4 class members? The properties, the methods, the constructor and accessors. So you can see variables in class, but not as class members, as the members of method. So technically important is, so a class method can have variables and functions, but directly in class you cannot have. That means here you can have a function, you can have a variable, but these are not treated as class members. Understood? They are not treated as class members. Class members means what are directly allowed in a class. Those are class members, right? Technically now, so first we will see the class members. In the class members, so first we have property. What is a property? Property, it is used to store data. It is used to store data. In a class, data is stored in property, and it is immutable. Am I right? It is mutable. Another important is it can store any type of data. That means primitive or non-primitive. You can store any type of data. You can store any type of data. It is a primitive type data or non-primitive. We can handle any kind of data, primitive or non-primitive, right? So when you are trying to deal with data, it can be any type in a property. It's just like variable, like in storing, but it is mutable. How it is mutable, we will see now. How we can change according to situation. So in a class, how the properties are defined. Name is a property and equal to what value you want to store. So name, I defined some Samsung TV. Next, price is equal to some price. Next, some stock is equal to true. All data types are same. Some cities is equal to, it's an array. It's an array. That means in this we have Delhi, so we have Hyderabad, like this. So we have like rating is an object. In that we have rate, so as 4, and count as some 60,000, 6,000, like this. You can store any kind of data into them, same like variable points. So data is stored in properties. We have to store data in properties. Now how we can access them? It is stored in properties. So syntax example is like this. Now you can access the class members by using instance of class. So you can access class members by using instance of class. So this is class. In order to access these members, you have to create an instance for this class. Instance is nothing but, actually you can say instance is an object. Instance is an object that refers to memory. That refers to memory, is an object that refers to memory, where all class members are loaded. All class members are loaded. That means, actually, see, I already told you yesterday. So the first OOP concept was introduced with Simula 67. Actually, it was first used on a device called PDP. PDP is a device. PDP 7, PDP 11, these are devices. Actually, means I hope you know a little bit about general computers. The first computer is ENIAC. After that, EDSAC. After that, PDP, right? So first ENIAC, then EDSAC, then PDP. After that, PC came. The concept of PC came after PDP, right? After PCs, then you have laptop, you have tab, you have mobiles like devices. So first software technologies were used on ENIAC, EDSAC, PDP. These are very huge devices. So simulation systems are required for them. For example, if you have never seen them, so ENIAC. So this is ENIAC. This is the first generation computer actually. This is computer. This is the first computer. So a computer means it will occupy almost 3-4 rooms of space. 3-4 rooms a computer means. This is ENIAC. After that, EDSAC. EDSAC is little bit better. From 3-4 rooms, it came to 1 room. This is EDSAC. This is another second generation computer. After that, we have PDP-11. PDP-11, PDP-7, then computers came like this. That means like a one corner in the room, but still they are not portable easily. Right? From 3 rooms, 4 rooms, then came to 1 room, then came to a corner. So in these kind of computers, the problem is there will be not one processor, several processors will be there. Several processors will be there. I hope you don't know, actually this ENIAC like computers are still working. Means you have American labs, so CERN, Council for European Research and Nuclear. In US, you have this CERN lab where still this computer is running. Means museum, it's in a museum that these computers are still running. And generally what happens is actually, so why we discuss about this point, because in these kind of computers, actually, suppose this is your computing system. In this, actually, lot of processors are present. Lot of processors are present. So, lot of processors are present. These you can see in computers like mainframe supercomputers. You know supercomputers, right? Our Indian supercomputer is, our Indian supercomputer is Param 10,000 Cray. So now Eka is the latest India supercomputer. These are Indian supercomputers. Supercomputers are very high level. That means actually you look at supercomputers. So this is supercomputer. So Param, we cannot have direct pictures. Param 10,000. Yeah, this is the supercomputer. This is the supercomputer. That's how it looks. These are supercomputers. Space research, defense, weather forecasting, all are used in, all are maintained by these supercomputers. These are very huge. A supercomputer means millions of processors will be there. Now the question is how they work. How they work. Now this is processor 1, this is processor 2, processor 3, like this. Everywhere. Now all this machine should work. How it works? Simulation systems. Simulation system means what happens is first this number 1 processor will start. After that it will invoke the second processor. After that it will invoke the third processor. After that it will invoke the fourth. This is called simulation system. I hope you don't know. These supercomputers are there now. Supercomputer, actually our India's latest supercomputer is Eka. Eka is latest supercomputer. 2 years back, we turned on that supercomputer. It is still not ready. Next year it will become ready. That means it will take 3 years to get ready. That means you are switching on a computer. Your computer gets ready in 2-3 minutes. Supercomputers to take control over everything from other computer, it will take 2-3 years. Right? They will never shut down. 24 hours they will be running. Right? That means lot of points technically they are very huge. They work with simulation system actually. Simulation system means they work like this. Now what is problem in this is, so we have to use some code. We have to use some code. This code is to be used in every process. If I have to use this code in every process, I have to write in every process. This was the problem earlier we were facing. Then I told you two people, Johan Ole, Christian Nygaard. These people introduced a concept. In that concept, we can keep the code at one place logically, and we can access and use from any location. That is code reusability. And how we can access that from any location? By creating an instance of that code that is called object. That means by creating an instance of that particular logic, you can access that logic anywhere. You don't need to write it again and again. So this was, that means you can just create an object. Through that object, you can access it anywhere. This mechanism was introduced in the early using this OOP concepts. That is what they call object-oriented program. But data is not in object. Data is in class. Right? That means now how to access the members of this class? From anywhere, if you want to access the members of this class, then what we have to do? Anywhere. Suppose I have a function, right? And this function is print product details. Understand? Now this function have to print all these details. Then how to access those details? We have to create an object for that class. We have to create an object for the class. How to create an object? let obj, any name you can give, is equal to new. What is new? Dynamic memory allocating operator. It allocates memory for which class? The class name is what? Product. That's it. This is enough. You will see many times people writing a parenthesis beside it. I am not writing it. I will tell you the reason why I am not writing and why people write, right? As of now, this is enough. That means now memory is allocated for which class? Product class. That means all the members are loaded into memory. And you can access that memory with which reference? obj. That means now I want all these details. Then I am using document dot write name. How to print the name? So we have to use obj dot what? Name. We can access it this way. In the next line, I want to print other details. So here I am printing name. In the next line, price is equal to obj dot price. In the next line, stock, so is equal to obj dot stock. In the next line, cities is equal to, I am not using any array techniques, obj dot cities. It can print all array elements. Rating is equal to, so obj dot rating dot rate. Like this, we are printing the details. Now we have to access this. We have to access this. Then how do we access the function? We have to just use print product details. Whenever I access the function, it is going to print those details and display. So we are creating a class, we are storing some data in the class, and we are accessing them from any location. In any function, if you want to access these members, then you can just create an object for them and you can access and use. You don't need to recreate all of them again and again. In any function, in any component you want, you can just create an object and you can access. And see, I'm not using a parenthesis here, which everybody does. We don't need that. Why we need that, I will tell you. We will discuss. So when we need that also, we will discuss. This is how we can access the class members. So we can access the class members in this way by using an instance. That means, so syntactically, what we have to do, let obj is equal to new, what is it, product. Through obj, you can access all the details. You can define all the details. Example is this. This is an example for that. So how to create a class, how to store data in class, and how to access the data from class. That is the basic thing. Now, very important here is, when you are using the members of class, you should know one more point, that means actually you can assign any value into property dynamically. You can assign any value into property dynamically. That means already some value is initialized here. This is initializing. You can assign any value into the property. That means before printing, I'm using obj.name is equal to, so Samsung LED TV, like this. Now automatically you can see it changes that. That means you can access and you can assign any new value. So a property allows to change dynamically. You can assign any value dynamically into it. You can allow. But now one situation is there. Situation is, everyone should not able to assign. So for example, suppose I given one option, price. Price can be changed only by admin. Any person other than admin, he cannot change. Now, how you will design a property in such a way that for few users, it will allow to write. For few users, it will not allow to write. That means for few users, it will allow to assign new value. For few users, it will not allow to assign. Suppose I declared var, then what happens? It will allow to assign. If I declare const, it will not allow to assign. Okay, you know that. Now for few people it should allow to assign, for few people it should not allow to assign. Then which one you will use? Var or let or const? Not possible. That is why variables are immutable. Not possible with variable, but it is possible with property. It is not possible with variable, impossible. Because var means compulsory, you can assign. Let also you can assign. Const you cannot assign. Then how? Which one to use? For few people it should allow, for few people it should not allow. That is never possible in variables, but it is possible in properties. How that is possible in properties? So by using accessors. So in a class, one member is property. It is for storing data. Another member is accessor. It is used to give a fine grained control over property. So it is used to give a fine grained control over property. Fine grained control over property means so it can control read and write features for any property. It can control read and write features for any property. So how it can do that? Let's see how it can do. Actually, so every property can have two accessors. One is called get, another one is set. People call this as getter used to read value from property, and we have set, it is called as setter, used to write value into property, means assign value into property. So we have getters and we have setters. For example, see now how to control. See here, I am designing like this. We will put a script here. Okay. Now here I have username, prompt, enter username. Okay. Next, I have where role, prompt. So we have enter your role. What is the role? Is it admin, manager? What is the role? And where product name, and product name is prompt, enter product name. Any name for product they can enter, that we will define. Right, we need to configure that. So we have username, role, and product name. These are the details we are having. Now the point is, we will create a class product. In this class we have underscore product name. It is a property. Currently it is empty, nothing is there. Why I given underscore? I already told you in naming of variables, variable naming. Underscore means, underscore in programming standards, it means it requires further implementation. That means it is not final, it needs some implementation. It's not mandatory, you can give anything. But traditionally programmers use underscore before the name to tell other developers that it is not final. Its functionality is still to be implemented. For that we use that. Now we will not directly try to use this property. We will create its pseudo accessors. That means we will create get product name. Now remember, this is called aliasing. This product name is an alias name for this. Now what we have to do, what getter should do? It should return what is present inside this property. That means what a getter should do, it should return. What it should return? Underscore product name. So, but we will not access underscore product name directly outside. We will access only product name. But that product name will return how to access a member inside class by using this. Already I told you in object. The members inside an object are accessible by using this. Similarly, the members inside class are accessible by using this. This dot underscore product name. So what is this accessor is doing? It is reading the value stored inside it and it is returning. Currently there is no value, empty. Okay. If you want, you can set restriction for reading also. Suppose you see, when you see lot of websites like cars, bikes, and you see real estates and all, and if you want to see the price, you click on I want to see the price, then it will ask please sign in, then only you can see the price. They don't show immediately. That means without sign in I cannot see, with sign in I can see. How it will change? That guest users don't show, for registered users show. how to design a property in such a way that it will show and hide for different people. That is done by using accessors. Here we can set restriction for viewing also. But currently I don't want restriction for viewing. I want restriction for assigning. Then what I will do here, I will create a setter. What is the product name? And this will take a new name. Okay. Now, can everybody set this new name? That means what I have to do, I have to set that into this property. That means what we have to do, this dot underscore product name is equal to whatever the new name, whatever new name you pass. So it will take the new name and it will store here. But I don't want everybody to do this. Then what I will do here is I will put a restriction. If role is equal to admin, then only this should happen. Otherwise, I will print a message document.write. So I will put as some unauthorized, and you are not authorized to set product name. This is the message. We are displaying that message. If it is admin, it will store. If it is not admin, it will not store. That means now you have good control over your property. For few peoples, it will allow to store. For few peoples, it will not allow to store. It can change its behavior. Who is changing the behavior? Property is not directly changing its behavior. Property is changing its behavior by using accessors. We have a getter and setter. Now see here how to access this class. Now I will create let obj is equal to new product. After that, we are defining obj dot product name is equal to product name is equal to, we will assign some product name. This product name is coming from prompt. Am I right? At the top, whatever product name they enter, we will store it. Here what we are doing, here we are using setter. That means we are assigning a value. But important, observe carefully. When you pass this name, product name, into this property, it will go here. Understood? It will collect whatever the name you entered. After collecting, it will verify is the role admin or not. If the role is admin, then only it will store that name here. Otherwise, it will not do this. Understood? That means you are trying to store some data previously without accessor. Directly it stores. The previous example, we are not using accessor. So previous example, we are not using accessor. We are saying obj.name LED TV, some name. It stores. But now it will not store. It will decide according to situation. Now we will write one more here. If obj.product name, this means, this indicates it is defined. Means if it is available. Actually, we can use undefined. Understood? Instead of using undefined, we are writing like this, means if it is defined. If it is defined, what should happen? Print that detail. Document.write, I have to print the product name. So name is equal to, how to print, how to access obj.product name. This is what here we are using getter. Understood? By using getter, whatever entered inside it, we are returning. Now what this will do, the getter is going to, so it is going to map to the above location. Understood? Here. And it is going to return that value. Now see, when I run this, now the functionality is ready. It is asking username. Username is any name you can give, John. And role I said some customer. Customer is the role. It is asking product name. Product name I given Nike Casuals, and it says you are not authorized. So let's open again. Name is John. Any name you can give. Role is this time admin. And I entered some Nike casuals, and it is there. Any other role people cannot set the name. That means we designed a property in such a way that we can control its behavior. Dynamically, it changes. That is the ability of an accessor. What is an accessor? What is its purpose? Accessors are used to control properties behavior. Accessors are used to control properties behavior. Which behavior? Read and write behavior. What is controlling read write behavior? Whether everybody can read or everybody can write. You can control that by using accessors. This is one technique. Example is this. This is the example of working with the accessors. Accessors are used in another purpose also. Accessors are used in another way also. Actually, you can also use accessor to access any member of class from a multi-level hierarchy. From a multi-level hierarchy. Accessors are used in several other purposes also. This is one purpose. Let's see another purpose here. Suppose I have a script. I have a class product. In this product class, I am having name. Name is some name, Nike casuals. Okay. After that, so here I am defining another property. In this property, customer rating, that is an object. In this customer rating object, so we have again rating. Rating is again an object. In customer rating is again an object. So in this rating, again we have rate. So rate is some 4.4, and we have count as some 4,000. You can have some more inside. A lengthy hierarchy. You saw NASA API, no? Very object in object, very lengthy, right? Now the question is how to access this rate every time. To access this rate every time, we have to first create an object for this. First, we need to access customer rating. In customer rating, rate. If it is having more hierarchy, we have to use more. But see here, simply, so I will create an accessor, customer rate. And this accessor have to simply return this dot customer rating dot rating, right? Customer rating. Okay. Yeah. Customer rating dot in that rating dot in that rate. That means now this customer rate will return this rate directly. That means you don't need to follow the complete hierarchy every time. That means what we are doing, document dot write. So first we create an object, led obj is equal to new product, and through obj you can access directly customer rate. Understood? So customer rate, that means it will directly access and display. Earlier, how to do? If there is no accessor, I cannot access that. How to access? I have to access obj dot, what is it? Customer rating in that rating in that rate. So like this, I have to use a lengthy hierarchy. Instead of using that lengthy hierarchy, we can just use an accessor. Now there are so many points also. Actually, customer rate, this is directly you can access. Another option, generally we have another habit is later in you will learn in advanced programming. because JavaScript is not strongly typed. If it is strongly typed, we should also tell what type of data it is written in. That means what is the data type? Number. That means we have to tell as number. Like this we have to write. But this is not required in JavaScript. Why? Because JavaScript is not strongly typed. So we have to define this as a number. We can define as number, but not required here. Because JavaScript is not strongly typed, but you have to use this in other technologies where it is strongly typed. You have to tell what it is, what type it is written in. JavaScript doesn't require, directly you can define this. This is another technique of using accessor. Accessor you have seen for two reasons. One is for controlling the properties read-write actions. Another one to access any member of a class with a simple reference. That is what actually properties and accessors. Next, what is a method? Same. So method is same. That means all method features are same as function. Understood? All same as function. That means parameterized. So we have parameterless. We have arrow. We have another option, rest parameters, right? Recursion, all are same like function. Only the point is function is outside and method is inside class. That is different. Usage of method is everywhere same. And everything, that means even return type, understand? Return type. So function with return type already we discussed. When we need a function with return type, without return type. All these are the members of this. That means no need to discuss much. So for example, if I want some function method, then we have to just use a method print. Print is a method, right? If you want a comma b, and it can use return a plus b. All options are same about method, same like function. Then how do we access this? Generally, how do we access? Document.write. So we are using obj.print. Into that we are passing some value. And automatically it can get that and it can display the value. Right? All function related features are same like method. Only the point you don't have the word function. All the signature, definition, parameters, usage, everything will be same. So no need to discuss much about methods, right? All the method features are same. Just you have to use, so method name, and we have to define the functionality for that method. That's how we do. So optionally, it is having params. So we have parameters, and we also have some, these are the members of that function. So it can have return type also defined. This is method option. Now one more extra thing in this is constructor. This is important, that we'll see next session. Right? What is a constructor and what is the role of constructor? We will see that in next session. Okay. Then we can go with polymorphism, inheritance like concepts, how they work. Okay. Tomorrow we'll see. Right?